Okay, so this is a tutorial for Crash starting from scratch. And so I'm in here and I have VS Code pulled up. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to clone the Git repository with the link there. And I'll go ahead and put that in a folder. And then it's going to ask me if I want to open the repo. Yeah, I do. And so the focus of this part one is going to be making a car appear on the screen. We're always going to start with small steps and then we're going to iterate, because if we try to do everything at once, what will happen is it's going to we're gonna sort of get caught too deep in our thought process, and our code is going to be really hard to debug later on. And we're still going to make it just as complex, just we're going to show how to do it in steps. So I'm going to open up crash.py here, and this is the starter code. And so if I go ahead and just run the starter code, we can see what that looks like. So it's just this this road and then this grass here. And so the code that actually runs is your program down here. So it calls this function road, or it sets the background color to green, then it calls function road. What road does is it creates a turtle, and it's going to fill this rectangle with gray. So the road is drawing the road, and then it's going to come back, and then it's going to register these shapes that we can use. 1, 2, 3, 4, corresponding to these images here, like the car there. And then it's going to set up things with tracer. So the first thing we're going to do is show a car on the screen. And to do that, we're going to need to make this class car. Car is, you can think of it like code that's going to run, but there's something we need to do in order to run that code. Particularly this function right here, init. Anytime we create a new car, this code will run. So anytime, so let's think about what we want to have happen when we create a car. Self represents what we're going to do with the car. So self is essentially the turtle that is sort of representing this class. And so we probably want the turtle to, let's just give it, I think the first thing we can do is we had that register shape down here. We registered 1.gif, 2.gif, 3.gif, 4.gif, 5.gif, corresponding to these files. Now that those shapes are registered on the screen, we can actually use them in Turtle. So we can say self.shape, in quotes, 1.gif. And then what's going to happen if we run this? You might expect that we would see a turtle on the screen, but in actuality, we won't. And the reason for that is because, well, we've written the code here that tells the turtle what to do to set it, or the car what to do. We haven't actually created a car yet. So the way you create a car, the way you call the constructor is you would have a variable. So I could call it C equals, and then this is the name of the class. So car, this name right here. And what it is doing is it's calling this init method. And so it's going to run this code. It's going to create a copy of everything in class car, and then it's going to run init. And so sometimes I see people try things like car.drive or car.relocate. This is a good intuition, but it's actually not correct. The reason why it's not correct is because every time we invoke this car right here, what we're doing is we're making a copy of the class, and we're storing that copy in whatever variable is over here. So in order to call drive or relocate on a copy of a class that we make, we have to use the variable containing that copy. Because the capital C car, the name of the class, is just, it's not referring to any particular copy, it's just referring to the class in the abstract. So that's what we would do if we want to call driver relocate. Of course, we haven't implemented those yet, so I'll just take that out. Okay, and so now once I'm creating the car there, and if I run the code now, car object has no attribute screen. Did you mean screen? Ah, so I made a mistake here, and that mistake is that car inherits from turtle. So if I want to use this shape method, which is a method in turtle, first thing I got to do is I got to super, it's referring to the parent class of car turtle, super dot init. And this is the same idea with this init, except super dot init is saying, go get the turtle that this car is based on and set up everything in that turtle. So now when I run this, now we have our car on the screen. So this is step one. It's just getting a car on the screen. It's as simple as you want to go. And I would encourage you, there's maybe, if you want to move the car to a particular position inside your program, inside this block here, this is where you're going to add the driver code. When you make C equals a new car, it's going to run everything in init. So you can add lines in init. You know, you can say go to 100, 100, just to sort of see what would happen. And then see, it'll go to 100, 100. Where's that line coming from? Well, probably that line is coming from the fact that the pen is down, right? It's a turtle holding a pen, and so it's dragging it along. So we can do pen up like that to get rid of that line. And then we just see the car go to the side. And one thing to keep in mind is that these indentations are super important. And the way that you organize your code is also pretty important. So everything within this block here, everything should be indented such that it's part of the class. So you should have code, all code in here should be indented. It should be in a method, either init, drive, relocate, or something else, and be part of the class car. Any code that runs, you should do it down here. And this is for organizational purposes. It's so that you know which code is running and which code is available to make a clone for. So that is sort of the first phase of this project.